Hello, dear students. Welcome to the session. In this session, we'll solve one more problem from the previous question paper. The problem is somewhat different from the previous in the normal questions. And here we can see that this is asked in December 2011, January 2012 question paper. A project consists of series of tasks labeled A to I with the following relationships. W is less than xy means x and y cannot float until W is completed. With this notation, construct the network diagram having the following constraints. So here the constraints are given, that is A is less than D and E, B comma D, these two are less than F, C less than G, G less than H, and F and G less than I. So this is the constraint relationship is given. Find also the minimum time of completion of the project when the time in days of completion of each task is as follows. The task A to I is given and corresponding time in terms of days is given here. Further, determine earliest start, earliest finish, latest start, latest finish, and total float, free float, interference, and independent float for the above given project. Here what we need to do is, first we have to construct the network diagram based on the given constraint relationship or the precedence relationship. The speciality of this problem is, instead of giving the task and the corresponding precedence constraint in a tabular form, here it is given in this method. So that is A is less than D comma E. It means, as he has illustrated here, the activity A will, after completion of the activity A, the D and E are floated. Means D and E will commence only when A is completed. And similarly, F can be started only when B and D are completed. Then G can be commenced when C is completed. Then H is the follower of G, and I is the follower of F and G. Here we'll, based on this relationship, let us try to draw the network diagram. The first as is given, the first and foremost, that is A is the first activity, and this first activity is will be followed by two more activities, that is E and D. As in the relationship it is given, A is less than D comma E. Okay, just see here, A is less than D comma E. A is less than D comma E. So this relationship can be represented as here, A is less than D and E. Then similarly, the B activity which is less than F activity. So B activity is less than F activity means the F will be completed, commenced only when B is completed. And similarly, we'll draw one more, that is C, which is less than activity G. Means A, B, and C can be understood that they are the initial activities. They are the activities which will start at the 0th time, and these three are concurrent activities. And G will be followed when the C is completed. The next one is H. H is greater than G, or G is less than H, it is given. It means the H will follow when G is completed. The next one is I. This I is greater than F comma G, it is given. After F we can write I, but in order to show that I is also followed after completion of the G, here we use dummy activity. So here you can understand this I activity will start when F and G activities are completed, because in the constraint relationship it is given that F comma G less than I. Okay, so I will commence when F and G are completed. So here a dummy activity has been used in order to show that constraint relationship. Then as we know that there should not be more than one end event for entire project, and a single start event for the entire project. Already there is a single start event, but here there are three end events come. So instead of making it three, let us club all these three so that entire project will have a single end event. Okay, now it has been clubbed and this is the end event. The next thing is we need to go for giving the numbers based on the Fulkerson's rule, as we already discussed about this, and directly will give the number. First, this will be given the first number, that is 1. Then when 1 is given, then all the outgoing activities are removed so that it will create some more initial activities. This will become the initial activity and this will become the initial. Means 1, 2, 3, then 4. So like that will give the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You just go through once again whether it is right or what based on the Fulkerson's rule. Okay. Next, after drawing, finding the numbers for the nodes, then the next thing is we need to find out the earliest start and latest finish for all the events. So first, let us make it somewhat expanded so that it will be easy for us to write earliest start and latest finish. First event, that is 1, will be assumed as the earliest start time as 0. Then for the second event, which is the start event for E and T, so this second event will start when the A is completed. It means it will be completed on 23rd, because 0 plus 23 will become 23. The 23 is the start time for event 2. So ES for event 2 is 23. Then when it comes to the third, so 0 plus 20 will make 20. That is the earliest start time for the third event is 20. Next, for the fourth, you just see here 23 plus 16 will make it 39, whereas 0 plus 8 will make it 8. So we have the relationship is that F should start only when D and B are completed. So this D and B will be completed at 39th day. On 39th day, both will be completed. So let us take earlier start time for this is 39. So that is earlier start time for 4 is 39. Then for the 5, so here 20 plus 18 will make it 38. So earlier start time for the fifth event is 38. Then when it comes to the sixth, 39 plus 18 will make 57. And here 39 plus a dummy means it is a 0. It will make 39. Sorry, 38. So here the earliest start time for the sixth event is 39 plus 18, 57. So earliest start time for this is 57. Then for the seventh, 23 plus 24 will make 47. 57 plus 10 will make 67. And 38 plus 4 will make 42. That is 57, 67, and 42. Among this, 67 is the largest, so that is to be considered. So earliest start time for the last event is 67. This 67 is the projected duration. Then in order to find out the latest finish time, so we have to go for finding this latest finish time for all the events by moving in the backward direction. So first, let us take this 67 as the latest finish time for the event 7. 67. Then to find out the latest finish time for all the events, let us move in the backward direction. 67 minus 10 will make 57. Let us write 57 here for the sixth event. And for the fifth event, here 57 minus 0 will become 57, whereas 67 minus 4 will become 63. So let us write 57 here, because if you take 63, then the project duration will be delayed. In order to maintain this as a project duration, we have to consider the smallest. That is 57 minus 0 is 57, 67 minus 4 is 63. So this will be 57. Then after 57, after fifth event, next move to the fourth event. For the fourth event, it is 57 minus 18. That will make it 39. 39 is the latest finish time for this event 4. That is 39. Then for the third event, 57 minus 80 will make 39. So 39 is the latest finish time for the third event. And for second event, let us see 39 minus 16 is equal to 23. And for this, if you consider this, then 67 minus 24 will make 43. 43 and 23, among these 23 is the least that is to be considered. Okay, 23 is the latest finish time for event number 2. Then for the event 1, 23 minus 23 is 0, whereas 39 minus 8 will make 31. And for this 39 minus 10 will make 19. So 23, then 31 and 19. So the 0 is the 23 minus 23 is the 0 is the least. So let us consider the least 0. So as I have told in the previous session also, the first event should have while calculating the latest finish time for the first event, it should become 0. Now we have found earliest start and latest finish time for all the events. Then let us tabulate these values, whatever we have calculated from the network diagram in the table. Then remaining two, that is the latest start and earliest finish, will be calculated through the table itself. So here it is tabulated. Earliest start time, whatever we have found for all A to I, and latest finish. So that has been tabulated here. Then latest start time can be calculated by subtracting the duration from the latest finish. Finish minus duration will give the start, and start plus duration will give the finish. Okay. So first let us calculate this. That is the latest start time is equal to latest finish time minus duration. For activity A, latest finish time is 23. That is drawn from the network diagram. That is 1 to 2. Activity A, the latest finish time is 23. So that 23 has been tabulated here, latest finish time. Then earlier start time is 0 for that. Okay. So latest start time for the activity A is equal to LF minus duration, that is 23 minus 23 is equal to 0. Then for B, the latest finish time is 39. Let us check it from the network diagram. For B, activity B, latest finish time is 39, just here. So that 39 is tabulated here. From the 39, we will subtract the duration. That is 39 minus 8 will give 31, which is latest start time. So similarly, we can calculate the latest start time for remaining activities C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. Then in order to find out the earliest finish time, which can be calculated by summing earliest start time and duration. Earliest start time is considered from the network diagram. And to that, if you add the duration, then you will get the earliest finish. So here 0. Earliest start time for A is activity A is 0. Just see here for activity A, this is 0 is the earliest start time. For activity B, again it is 0, and for activity C it is 0. Whereas for activity D, earliest start time is 23. For A, B, C 0, for D it is 23. For A, B, C it is 0, and for D it is 23. Like that it is tabulated here. To find out the earliest start time, let us add these to 23 plus 0 will give 23, 8 plus 0 will give 8, 20 plus 0 will give 20, 16 plus 23 will give 39. So like that you have calculated the earliest finish time by adding earliest start time and corresponding duration. After calculating these 4 time elements, the next is to find out the total float. This total float means what? It is a difference between earliest start and latest start, or earliest finish and latest finish. That is the difference between either these two, earliest start and latest start, or earliest finished and latest finish. But please remember, once again I tell you that this should be same. Suppose if you take the earliest difference between this and this, both should be same. Here 0 0 and 0 0 is 0 0, 23 and 23 is 0 0. Then 31 minus 0 0 is 31, 39 minus 8 is also 31. Then 19 minus 0 0 is 19, 39 minus 20 is 19. Like that 23 23, 39 39 0 0, 20, 43 minus 23 is equal to 20, 67 minus 47 is also 20, 39 39 0, 57 57 0. Then 39 minus 20 is 19, 57 minus 38 is also 19, 63 minus 38 is 25, whereas 67 minus 42 is also 25, and 57 57 0 0, 67 67 is also 0 0. Dear students, please remember, in order to cross verify that whether you have calculated the earliest start time and latest finish time from the network diagram. In the network diagram, suppose if you have done any mistake in a tabulation or in calculation, sorry, then you'll find the you'll become it will be known to you when you'll go for finding the difference between earliest start latest start, that is finding the total float. Suppose if the both difference will not be the same, then it shows that you have done some mistake, you have committed some error in the calculation of earliest start and latest finish times from in the network diagram. This is one of the way to cross verify the correctness of calculation. Then after that, next is finding the free float. We know that free float means what? It is the total float minus head event slack. Head event slack means for each activity, the head event will have the earliest start time and latest finish time. That is, just see here. Here for activity 1 to 2, latest finish and earliest start. The here, in order to find out the free float, we have to subtract the difference between the LF and ES from the total float of that corresponding activity. Once again, I repeat, in order to find out free float, we have to subtract the difference between LF and ES from the total float of that corresponding activity. So here total float is found 0, 0, 31, 19, all these things. Then from that you have to subtract the difference between latest finish and earliest start time of the head event of that corresponding activity. So here we have calculated by referring to this. Free float is equal to total float minus head event slack. That is the TF is that FF is equal to TF minus LF minus ES. For activity A, that is a free float is already we have found that is a total float is 0 0, total float is 0 0, then free float is equal to 0 0 minus 23 minus 23. 23 is the latest finish time for a head event of the activity A, and 23 is the earliest start time for the head event of the activity A. Here it is 23 and 23. Okay, so 23 minus 23, that is also 0 0. From 0 0 to 0 0 minus 0 0 will give 0 0. Then for activity B, the free float is equal to total float is 31. You just see here in the table, that is 31 is the total float for activity B, and the latest finish time and earliest start time, that is 13 is 39 and 39. 39 minus 39 is 0 0. That is 31 minus 39 minus 39 will give the 31. So the 31 is the free float for activity B. Similarly, for the C, the free float can be calculated as the TF, that is total float is 19, minus 39 minus 20. 39 minus 20 is here, 39 minus 20, that is 19, and the total float of that is 19 again. So 19 minus 19 is 0 0. Okay, for C again it is 0 0. Like that, we have calculated the free float for all the activities from A to I. You just see this one. This has to be calculated by considering the total float from the table and the LF minus ES from the network diagram. LF minus ES from the network diagram, here it is shown, and total float from the table. Then we can calculate the values of this column, that is free float. These are the values of the free float. Then next thing is we need to find out we need to identify the critical and non-critical activities of a given project. So as we know that the activities are considered as a critical, or they are called as a critical or non-critical based on total float. Suppose if the value of the total float is 0, then that corresponding activity is called as a critical activity. So here the first A is having total float 0, means it is a critical activity. In the remark column, we'll write C. C stands for critical. Whereas for the B, the total float is 31, that is non-critical. As I have told in the previous session also, once again I repeat in this session that this value, that is total float values, indicate that this is the tolerance, the 31. Say for example, suppose if you take the 31, 31 means 31 days are the tolerance given to the activity B. If activity B consumes 31 more days, then also there is no any delay in the completion of the project. The project will complete on the 67th day itself, even if it consumes instead of 8 days, if it consumes maximum 39 days, then also there will not be any delay in the completion of the project. That is why this activity B is non-critical. When it comes to the activity C, again, it is having a 19 days as a total float. The activity C is also non-critical activity. But when it comes to the activity D, the total float is 0, means it is no tolerance at all. That is zero tolerance. Means the activity D must be completed in a 16 days. Suppose if it takes more than 16 days, then there will be a delay in the completion of the project. Instead of 67, suppose if the activity D consumes instead of 16, 17 days, then this will become 68. Like that, we have calculated the critical, means identified the critical activities based on the total float value. So here F is the critical activity because the total float of the total float of the F is 0, and I is also critical because total float of the I is also 0. Here they are written in a red color, A, D, F, and I. These A, D, F, and I are the critical activities. Then, as usual, we have to underline the critical activities in the network diagram. A, D, F, I. A, D, F, and I. So these are the critical activities, and the unbroken chain of these critical activities is called as the critical path. That is A, D, F, I. Please remember, this must be unbroken. There must be a continuity, and these activities should start with the start event, should end with the end event of the project. Then the sum of the durations of all these critical activities will be the project duration. Here I write the critical path is A, D, F, I, and the project duration is 67 days. 23, 16, 39 plus 18, 57 plus 10, 67. The 67 days is the critical, that is a projected duration of this activity. And along with the total float and free float, in this problem, he has asked you to calculate the other floats, that is just here. He has asked you to interference and independent floats. So interference and independent floats, let us calculate this in the next session because of the time constraint for the uploading of this video on the YouTube. But meanwhile, I'll ask one question to you. Instead of calculating earliest start time and latest finish time, instead of calculating earliest start time, latest finish time, and finding the total float, and based on the total float, we'll find the critical activities and critical path. There is one more shortcut method. shortcut method to find the critical path and project duration only based on the network diagram itself instead of calculating all these ES and LF. I'll give one hint. The critical path in a network means it is the longest path. The critical path is the longest path in a network. Based on this, any of you can explain me or you can suggest me the shortest method by which you can find out the critical path, critical activities, and project duration without calculating earliest start, latest finish, earliest finish, and latest start and total float. Okay, so let us see. We'll continue in the next session. Thank you.